everyone, it's Annette Green back again working in my weekly 2023 memory keeping planner, my vintage black planner from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I am documenting every week in 2023 and the weeks have gone by so fast and the books have gotten full, so I have started a second planner. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So here I am. Let's flip back and reminisce here. Last week, if you were with me, it was week 40 and I was working a lot and I just documented a haircut. The befores and the afters, simple as can be, is one of the only things that happened to me all week besides working. And so now we are on week 41 and 42 because I went to Banff, Canada to teach at the Elizabeth Craft Designs Creative Retreat. We were there for a good week and there was a little bit of an overlaps in the week, so I just said I'm going to do a 2-page spread. And good thing I said that because I have a lot of photos that I have to fit into this small space right here. But one thing I do want to mention is this will be a 2-page spread with my most favorite photos, but I am going to do this little TN that I taught at the retreat. In case a lot of you don't know what I'm talking about, I was one of 5 total teachers that came to Banff and taught 50 students at a time, so we had 100 students and we rotated classes. Very efficient, very nice way to do it. And so I taught this little TN class. This is a traveler's notebook, the small one from Elizabeth Craft Designs. And we had some charms and we had some wax seals and we had some natural stuff and we did rub-ons on fabric. We have tickets, all kinds of fibers. But what I'm going to do with mine, and you can see how we added more inside, but just left enough space to document some kind of trip or whatever they wanted. But this is where I'm going to concentrate a lot of energy on all the photos that I took, almost all, from the retreat, so that I can get more in here. I can say a lot, I can tuck in receipts and all kinds of memorabilia and things that I gathered on the trip. If you haven't ever seen it before now, I do have a wonderful video on how to even begin keeping a traveler's notebook just like this or similar to this. When you go on a trip, where do you start? You know, how do you figure out what size to make the photos and what do you put in it and how do you plan it all out? I will link to that video below because it's a pretty good one. So I am going to fill this eventually with all my Banff photos and I will complete it all and then share it with you probably in December of this year. So like I said, this is just going to be some favorite photos in my 2-page spread because I am limited on space. So even though I have this space, I do want to add more to it. So I was having this thought with a new die from Esther Gloss with Elizabeth Craft Designs. I will pop the name of this die up. I don't know it off the top of my head because I have sort of like an early die that has no name to it, but I will get that for you. But it has this wonderful little kind of half tab page thing and it has the holes in it. But I was envisioning having it over here and then another one over here and have it kind of gatefold open, and that way we've bought so much more space here. So my idea is, now look at this. This is the Rustic Wilderness, I think, paper from David Rudenberg, also on the team. But this is the cover sheet, like the bonus sheet that you get. So this is what's on the inside. So we of course have to cover that up. So my idea is to use more of this paper collection. And let me just grab that and show it to you real quick. Okay, as I'm piecing together the papers, it is not called Rustic Wilderness, it's called Rustic Winter. So sorry about that, especially to David if he's watching, but this paper is really cool. And I've had it for a little while. I've got quite a few packs over there. And I will link to everything below that I'm using, but it's just this fabulous wintry, cold, but sometimes warm collection with all kinds of snowy texture and snowflakes and wood grain. You're getting the idea. It's pretty fantastic. So I have pulled a few papers from here. Ooh, look at that one. Gosh, I maybe should have used that one. I might change a plan that I had. I like that. So anyway, that's the paper that I used. The idea that I was having was to create this part of this piece into a scored hinge so that we could hinge it on the outside of these pages. And because we have those holes there after we score it, I am going to cover it up with some of that bluish colored like wood grain paper. So I will do that, ink all these edges, and we'll take a look at that. While I'm inking my edges, I will share a little bit about the retreat. If some of you have not been watching any of the other designers talking about it or some of the Facebook Lives and stuff, it was fantastic, I have to say. Such a unique way to do the rotating class thing. Banff itself was beautiful. Gosh, so many wonderful things to do outdoors and wonderful restaurants, and gosh, it was just great. And the designers, oh my goodness, they were amazing. It was the first time I was meeting David and Esther, Lizana, Katie. Of course, I know Els and Yoop and Yosette. Oh, I said Esther, right? So I met everybody that I hadn't met for ever, and got to know them personally and spend some time and go to eat and have coffee and all that stuff. And sometimes toasting a drink, oftentimes. But their projects were fabulous, everybody's. It was just such a nice variety because we're all such different types of designers. And so that made it really nice for our guests to have that variety and to learn so many different things. I will talk more about it as we go. But, okay, so there's that. There is that. I'm going to glue these together and give this about, a half-inch score there, right where those papers are meeting up. And then I'll get these on there after I score it, because I think that's going to take away a little bit of room, and I don't want this to be right on the fold. So I'll do that after. Now I'll share really quick. I love my Sweet Petunia glue press very much. I have a little pluggage here. I have put art glitter glue into this one with the skinnier nozzle, and so I put some washi tape on that so I remember. This is the actual Nuvo glue that I will put in here, and this one has a little bigger nozzle because it's a little thicker glue. Art glitter glue, of course, is a little more thin and watery, so my cap goes there. And I'm doing this because I want to have a little bit more drying time so I can slide this panel in place. And I know that the Nuvo glue has that property to it. Art glitter glue dries really fast, so I think this might be better for this particular instance. But it's nice to have those two options. Okay, scored those. Going to give them a good burnish. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to get the blue strip in there, and these guys are going to hinge in like doors. So, of course, before you go to do that, you've got to, if you want to ink your edges, you've got to get in there first. And, of course, I'm sure that you noticed that I cut these pieces very long. I just cut them 12 inches because that's the length of the paper, and I figured I can trim it off later. Sometimes I like to do that better than measuring and cutting, just in case you're off a little bit. And you do see that I have a little bit of a gap there. That's what I need. You wouldn't want to glue it all the way in because then it wouldn't fold easily like this, and we definitely want it to fold nice and flat. So once that glue really dries, I'll get in there with a dark marker and just kind of run it down in there and fill it in. It'll look like I inked the edges. All right, well, I tell you what, this is very different than normal because normally I'd have my photos all decided on and printed out here, but I kind of went in the reverse direction this time. And what I did was I got my plan first with like these little doodads, and then I started to think about embellishments. And so I got a few things ready over here, and then I'm going to just worry about my photos last. I did look at the photos. I see that there's a lot of blue and orange, so that's why I picked blue. But other things will happen on these papers as I get those photos on there. So I started with this. This is my Layered Labels die set and my layered label stamp is that stitched line around there. This is something that's coming, but it was perfect for my situation, so I want that here. And I haven't decided will it hang off, but I think it's going to stay within this zone here. Okay, and I have something that I thought I could show you, but I can't show you yet. It'll be a really quick sneak peek. And then I will show you it next week when I'm able to. But it is this cute little Mountie. That's all I'll show you. Okay, so he's going to go right there. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to get in trouble. All right, but I did use this really cute die from David. Let me find it. Where did I lay it? Hold on. It's a, David's got the art journal specials. David Rudenberg, my buddy now. 2050 Snow Village. It's a page die. See the cute snowflake over here? And you cut this out and fold it in half and put it in like a TN or an art journal. It has all these cute little houses and church and rooftops and trees. Well, as soon as I looked at that, I thought that looks like I could make a little Banff, like downtown Banff scene out of those pieces. So that's exactly what I did. I cut out all these little guys and I did a little coloring. And can you see it? Let's zoom in. Gosh, they're tiny. All right, so that's better. So I did a little coloring with some markers and I did little rooftop colors. And then I cut all the little trees from just some pattern paper that I had that was very piney. And I'm just going to work those into the scene, but I was very pleased with how those turned out. And so in the little windows, I just glued some black cardstock on the back. And I'm feeling like I want to put it on my page so it comes sort of overlapping the flaps. So this is what I envision. My little, can we see? Now it's way big. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, my little church. And my goodness, I was just looking at a picture from downtown Banff, right across from the hotel, and we had a church that looked a lot like that. So that's cool. Let's see. Now I've got these guys. So I'm thinking these two are going to hang off, and then this one's going to be here. And then these guys are going to be here, perhaps, like so, on this flap. And we'll have some trees in the background, maybe some trees down here. So that's what you see when you first open it. Our little cute guy's going to be there in this scene. You are going to see some photos and things showing in here. But that's my plan so far. Now, I got very excited because I was thinking about David's new paper and spelling out the word Banff somewhere prominently on the page as well. So because I'm going to use these for my weekly numbers, the stitched letters and number set, Planner Essentials 37, which I always do. So I'm going to do 41 and 42 in this, but I'm also going to spell out Banff. So I have pulled those letters over here, and I'm going to cut them out of that blue wood that I showed you at the beginning, that wood paper. All right, and I was going to change my mind and go with this paper, but I think I'm going to go back to this one. That's the one I already used. And you see this area right here where we go from, like blue to some brown wood grain. I was kind of thinking I would catch a little bit of both of those colors and have the brown color be toward the bottom. So this is what I'm thinking. And then of course I have to cut the F twice. So let me cut those out. Let's take a look at how that looks. Okay, oh, and that looks pretty cool right there too. Oh, I like it. I'm going to hold on to that. You never know. Sometimes I change my plan right in the middle of stuff. But this does look pretty cool. I like the sort of ombre effect it's giving. Right? Can you see it? Yeah, so I am going to ink the edges, of course, so it really stands out. But I might even ink the edges. Let's see if anybody does stuff like this, right? I might ink the bottom half one color. So I will match that kind of brownish wood grain. I say I might, but I'm doing it. You see me, I'm doing it. But I might grab some blue. Let me pick a color over here. I just can't even tell you how hard that was just to step 2 feet over. I've got stuff all over the floor. This is weathered wood, very apropos. So that looks kind of cool, right? As opposed to just leaving it like that. Can you even see it? I think you can. So I'm going to keep on keeping on with that, and we'll decide where it's going to go. This is really the first time I have done it in this order, like putting all the elements and then figuring out how the photos are going to fit. So this will be interesting. Of course, I will make it work. You know that. But I don't know that I recommend doing it this way every time. Sometimes you have to. So it's kind of nice to show that. Okay, of course it is best to take your papers, your pages out of your planner. And I like to put a little, piece of scrap paper underneath, at least underneath this one, because this has my photos from last time and all this pretty stuff. So I don't want to get ink on it from my table. I have not been too tidy lately, so I have to be careful. Okay, so I'm going to get some double-sided adhesive tape because I know that is super duper strong. And I'm going to get that one glued right there. And this one over here. All right, and I am going to switch back to my art glitter glue because I'm about to glue my letters, and I've decided they're going to go vertically. I'm not usually a big fan of that because it's hard to read, but I tested it and I can read it just fine, and it stands out really nice in this kind of whitish area, so we're going to go for it. And because these letters are a little bit, skinnier, it's not a huge surface area, that's why I switched to the art glitter glue. And of course we will start from the bottom so we know that we have enough room working our way up. Okay, that looks good. Nice. As I'm sitting here with this little flap situation, I'm thinking we definitely have to have something that swings and holds that down later, so I will keep that in mind, and also knowing that I'm going to tuck my little guy somewhat behind this label. I'm just going to put adhesive on that lower half so he can come into play a little bit later. That release is, I have to say, adorable. So cute, which isn't normally my thing, but it just had to happen on this spread. As I'm told, Yosette's new release will be debuting next Monday. So not this Monday, which would be a couple days from now. Today's the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Not the 23rd, but the 30th. So you just definitely have to watch for that, and I would suggest watching the Facebook Live with Els. I believe it'll be Els. Maybe it's Els and Yosette. We'll find out. So there's that, and we decided we wanted these over here. I like that that's going to be next to the word Banff right there. That's kind of cute. Now I can put a house here. Maybe like that. It's just so cute. But I have to decide about my my trees, and do I want anything behind here? Do I want these way down at the very bottom of the page? Just little things to think about. I think I do want them at the bottom because I feel like if I don't put them at the bottom and they're just kind of floating, that's just what they're going to look like, floating little shops. And we don't really want that, and the trees will definitely go to the bottom. So I am going to make that decision right now and glue those to the bottom. Now, what is this going to look like when we flip it over? That's not going to be great. So I'm going to have to take care of that. Anything that hangs over, you got to pay attention to that. So I'm going to cut this die one more time and stick it on the back of there. As I'm gluing on my last tree here, I am very happy with how this is turning out. I figure I'll just chat a bit. I did want to say that we were going to stay, because my husband Paul came with me. We were going to stay in Banff until just 2 days ago. We were going to stay till Thursday. We had extended our stay so we could hike and do all kinds of stuff. And then Paul developed a really bad sore throat, like Monday, middle of the night Monday, early Tuesday. He woke up and said, I think I'm getting something. So we figured it wasn't COVID just from the symptoms. He did come home and take a COVID test and it was negative, but you know, we just got to thinking that if I caught it too, which I thought I would, and I didn't, we would both rather be home being sick than to be in another country. You know, you never know what's going to happen. So we did. We came home, and it looks like it was kind of rainy and dreary after we left, so I guess we don't regret that decision. Okay, so here we go, looking good. I really like my little scene down here. It's very fun. I hope you agree. So now I do need to go look at my photos in my phone and make some solid decisions here. I never showed you, so this is how it looks when you put a little solid cardstock on the back. It looks much better when you flip that open and just see that instead of all that other stuff. Okay, I have some good news. I was printing my photos and sitting at my computer, and Els and I, Els of course is Elizabeth Craft Designs. We were chatting on Messenger. I was talking about the new release and can I show anything yet and all that stuff, and she said, well, what are you doing? And I sent her a little video and she said, oh my gosh, let's do it. Show it. So it's just a sneak peek. I can't tell you anything. I can't answer any questions about it. But here he is. And he's going right on my page right now. And there is so much more to come in this new release that's so cute. But consider yourselves very lucky. You're getting this little sneak peek. Little bonus sneak peek. So I'm going to pop him right there. I had plans for him to fit in there just perfectly. And then this cute little flag, the Canadian flag. I was going to put it with him, but that's not going to work obviously. So I am going to put it over here, right above Banff, which means I have to snip just a little bit off the bottom. So I'll get that on there, and then I'll talk about my photos. I went and printed them all out, and I haven't said it in the last couple of videos, so if you wanted to know what kind of printer I use, it is a Canon Pixma TR8620, and I use HP glossy photo paper. I didn't quite make it to the B with that, but that's okay. Okay, so that's how the spread is looking. And here are the photos I decided on. It was hard. I have so many photos, but I don't feel bad because, like I said, almost all my photos are going to make it in here. So I just wanted to pick the really, really favorites, and I am going to photo mat all of these. So let's take a look at my plan. You need to keep in mind that I have to have some journaling, of course, very important journaling, and we don't want it to be too busy because there's a lot going on here and a lot of color. So I think I want to stick with just 4 main horizontal photos in that space, and we have plenty of room to do accents and journaling and whatnot. I have this awesome picture of Paul and I that I purposely left the sky because I thought, well, if I can work it in, I want to work it in. But I want to put these taller pictures over here. Am I in the frame here? Let's see. There we go. I know there's a little bit of a glare, so I apologize. Definitely want those 2 pictures. Paul and I kind of venturing out before the retreat started. And then this great picture of a big giant elk. When we were on the bus ride to Lake Louise, we passed by and there was a bunch of them on the side of the road. And I was taking video, and then I realized what I was doing, taking video instead of photo. So I took a couple of quick shots really quick. This might be one of my favorite photos right here. Can you see it without the glare? Because this is most of the design team. Katie's not in this photo. She's in this one. But here we have myself and Esther and her husband Johan, and Lizana, and of course Els and Yosette and Yoop, and there's David. Walking down the street, we had gone shopping for some purses and leather goods in this wonderful store, and I just took a quick selfie on the street. So it was very candid and impromptu, and I love it. Okay, I have my photos matted. I have put reinforcements down. These are black. All my mats and my photos are black as well. I just went to the original reinforcement variety pack #1 and used basic circles for those holes. My photos are loose because I am still thinking about some sort of closure idea, and I'm leaning toward like low-level little magnets, which I have used before. I think that's going to work best. I don't have, room for swing clips and string or anything to tie it closed. I think it's just going to be very neat to have magnets. Now, I do want to do a lot more. I want to journal. I want to add some fall leaves to just really add up that pop of color. But I am finding that I'm getting tired and I'm starting to rush. So it's Saturday. It's not Sunday for me. I have time. I have time tomorrow. I don't like feeling rushed like that at this point. Yes, I would like for it to be finished, but let this be just a note to yourself as well, that when you're feeling tired, you don't have to rush through it. Step away. I'm not really sure what I want to do right now, and I'm too tired to think it through. So give yourself that break, come back, take a look at it again with fresh eyes and a little more enthusiasm, and that's totally fine. There's no deadline here. So I will be back. I will be back tomorrow. Okay, good morning. Welcome back. It is the next day. I have made some major decisions here to change things because when I got up, I put the photos in place and I folded in the flaps, and this is just way too busy and distracting to see half of those photos sticking out. I like this so much that's what I want to see, and I don't want to see that yet. So my solution to that issue was to grab that same die. I cut it out of some different paper, but coordinating paper from the same collection. And I'm going to, I've done this one over here. I trimmed it out. So I think this one goes over here. Yeah, okay. So I cut a 1/2 inch off the top and 1 3/4 off the bottom. So I've eliminated that bottom hole. So it looks like this. So my idea is, because I still want to see my little village down here when the thing is closed, this is the idea. I like the way that looks. That's kind of cool. You see a little bit of that and a little bit of that, but it will cover up the photos, and then this will become my place to journal. So I went ahead and pre-cut these guys out. Now this is a really quite an older die. So I don't know if it's going to be available still. Sidekick Essentials #5, and I said Sidekick note because that's the smaller planner, but I like it because it's tall and skinny. It's got those little stitchy things around the edges. It fits perfectly in my little thing here, and that is where I'm going to hide the magnet. After I get all my journaling done, I'll put one magnet under there. I will decorate this just a little bit, and then I'll put the other magnet over here, which will be covered up by photos. I will probably add some hole reinforcements again here, I think. So I cut some red ones out, but that might be too much red. We'll see, because I went ahead and cut out some of my leaves from the Festive Harvest set. A couple of leaves in this red printed paper from Graphic 45 from their Patterns and Solids. Has these little words in there, so it gives a little more texture and interest, and I thought I would just sprinkle those on the front there, just as a little decoration. I don't want to junk it all up. I think that might be enough. We'll see, but this is my loose plan right now. So I'm going to cut this one to match this one. I got a couple more leaves over there. I got my magnets ready, and then we'll move forward. I am moving right along here. I added my leaves. I did add some little leaves. I just grabbed some more Graphic 45 Patterns and Solids in this golden color. Has a little texture on this side. And I grabbed my owl, fall wreath and owl set. It has all those tiny little leaves, which are great to just kind of fill in embellishment. It's all on one die like that, which is pretty handy. So I've got those sprinkled in there. I have this glued down. I did change from the red circle reinforcements to these kind of star wheel. I don't know what you'd call that. And I use blue just to make it a little, less like red, red, red. And so now it kind of all matches, and that looks cute from the front. Very happy. And I did my journaling, and I also wanted to point out that the journaling has been done on some paper from Reminiscence The Book #6. And while I had the paper out, I saw that I had cut some things out of this sheet with, on a prior page. So I thought, well, that's good. It's instant little words you can add, and it's instant embellishment. So I've already added the word love down here. I've cut out things like creative, crafty, fabulous, dream, priceless, things like that. And I have both my journaling thingies done, so I'm getting ready to glue those in, but I gotta go to the magnets now, and I know you guys want to see that. As I've been analyzing this, I know I was trying very hard to hide one of the magnets under a photo over here, but I really feel like the magnet's going to have to go under this little flap here. So hiding it on this side is not an issue. In hindsight, I could have put one there before I put this back liner paper on there. I didn't know I was going to do magnets, so it's okay. We're just going to do it this way, and we'll see a little shiny magnet. I could always put something over it if it really bothered me, or if it really bothers you. All right, so that you saw me peel and stick. These are those basic gray little magnets. They have a negative and a positive to each set. So that was the negative. And then if I want to know where the other one goes, and it's going to go underneath here, I'm going to let that suck on there. And I'm going to bring it around. Now, I want it on the underside, so this will be a little tricky. Let me lift this up. I've got my journaling here that I'm going to lift up, so let me engineer it, but basically that's what's going to happen. When I'm able to fiddle with it, peel that up. It's just got it's got strong adhesive on it. So, all right, I got to peel up this sticker. I'm sure you guys are going to hop in the comments and say that there's a better way. Go ahead, let me know. I know I could put something over this, over here, and all that, but I feel like this is going to work. So there's my position, and now I can glue the journaling in place with permanent adhesive. See, it's right there. So when it's closed, hopefully, this will just pop right on there. Perfect. And I have to say, this is a pretty involved layout this time. This is not usually how I do things, but because it's a 2-page spread, it was a huge vacation kind of deal. I felt that it was worthy. So if this is the first time you're here, don't feel intimidated. This is not the norm. I usually do just 1 page per week, and it's fairly simple and quick. Okay, so as you can see, I have been putting some things down. I mentioned those words, so I have those around here and there. Crafty, I put between us 2 team pictures, and then I added the word crew. Those small letters come from the alphabet tabs die set. I've used this a lot in the past. I didn't use the tabs, I just used the letters because they're nice and small, but they do cut out like that. They're really cool, actually. Also, because I already had this one die set out, no, over here. Okay, see this? What a day. So that was from the set I've been working with, which was Sidekick Essentials 5, okay? And it says, what a day. Well, it wasn't just a day, it was a whole weekend. So I knew there was a set. I know I'm using a lot of sets, but and a lot of them are older, but there was one I knew had the word weekend in it. That doesn't help, does it? And that is another older one. Planner Pocket 2, number 1609. It doesn't have much on it, but there's the word weekend right there. So I grabbed that. And what else did I grab? Oh, okay, so I wanted to be clever and mark out the word day with like an X. And I was just going to cut 2 strips of red paper. But then I remembered we have this die. And that's from yet another set, but I used it again since I had it out a couple times here. The Sidekick Pocket Page Fillers 1. It has moments here, has the XOXO, which is cute, and then it has this big heart. So I was going to put an X over the word day and then push weekend over there. And there's the big heart clip. I'm going to snip that, and I think I'm going to just put it here because I already have that photo down. And then the word moments I cut in red and I popped it onto some black. And I think I'll put that over here, and it's looking like we're almost finished. Wow, finally. So I don't need this, but I am going to save it for something else. And what I meant about this here is I think that I'll just get in here and snip this as straight as possible. And we'll pretend that it went behind the photo like so. Now, is that just so honkin' big? It's pretty big. Now I don't like it. Okay, so I decided on these 3 little hearts there. Cute, because I saw that there's a little heart tab in that same alphabet tab set, and then I also grabbed the exclamation point and put it here at the end of weekend. I cut just a few more of those little leaves from earlier in that same red paper, and so I kind of sprinkled those around the pages. So I think we're done. Now let's get it in the planner and see how she looks. If I can find my planner after all the chaos in here. Okay, so did I even mention the 41, 42? Got those in there much earlier when you weren't looking. And so this will go here. Ooh. And my little magnets suck on there real nice. And there's my spread. Not bad at all. Pretty cute. It doesn't bother me that there's nothing here because it's busy enough, right? It's just got a lot going on. We got to keep it under control. So we're going to read a little journaling here, and then it continues on over here. And there you go, kids. It's done. It took 2 days, so just beware. That's why I don't do 2-page spreads hardly anymore. And this one is even extra involved with all the flaps and extra stuff. So this is just a once in a while type of deal. I will be back next week, week 43, so I hope you join me. I hope you liked it today. Thank you for hanging in there this long. This was a long one. And I will link everything below, like I said. And last but not least, I have to say it, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to get little notifications, make sure you hit the subscribe and then hit the little bell, and then you will know every time I upload a new video. Okay, everybody, thanks again. I'll see you next week.